What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my latest video. Today we're going to be talking about Shadow Rider Calyrex, a deck that has been very good for a very long time, but has kind of fallen off the wayside. People aren't talking about it too much because Mew VMAX is the hot new kid in town. Urshifu is no longer as popular because Psychic typing already works for you, and these path decks have been popping up. But when all those things aren't happening, let's look at a brand new way to play Calyrex. I don't know what happened there with my mind, but yeah, we use one copy of Cresselia with the Crescent Glow attack to kind of power up our guy if we go second. Always a good option. But we have the Underworld Door ability, which is always, the bread and butter of this deck. Max guys 10 plus 30 for each Psychic energy in play. So what makes this deck unique and different from other Shadow Riders? Well, we play 18 Psychic energy. We're playing theme deck proportions of energy, meaning our game plan is to one-shot as quickly as possible. And for that, we have 4 copies of Galarian Articuno with Cruel Charge. So as soon as we play this guy onto our bench, we get 2 energy accelerations onto it. So in theory, we could get a lot of energy onto the board as quickly as turn 2, turn 3. We play 4 copies of Battle VIP Pass because we said screw everything else. We're just going for the sheer turn 1, get what we need to get. Now obviously this doesn't work with the Articuno and the Cruel Charge, but we want to get Battle VIP Pass as early as possible to get our Calyrexes into play. We've got our 4 copies of Evolution Incenses, our 4 copies of Fog Crystals to grab the Articunos, our 4 copies of Quick Balls to, continue grabbing Articunos, 1 copy of Switch, and 2 copies of Air Balloon to draw cards for us. 2 copies of Training Court because you need to bump path. That's actually very important. But we don't need too many ways to bump path because we're going to be discarding a lot of cards with our 4 copies of Research, 2 copies of Money, and 2 copies of Boss. So let's jump into some gameplay and see how the deck kind of functions. I've been a little bit whelmed by the deck. It's very mid in my opinion. It's not crazy good, but it's not crazy bad. The games it goes off, it's really funny, but the games it doesn't go off, it's something. But if you guys are enjoying the content, obviously like, subscribe. We got to 3,100 subscribers recently. I really, really want to thank every single one of you guys for clicking on the videos and subscribing. And, 3,100 was a pipe dream a long time ago. I came back to content about a year ago. Or not even a year ago. It's been less than a year. And I've picked up, close to 1,000 subscribers in that time. Picking up where I left off basically from my content journey from 2017. I know it's been a long time. Since I've really done this with all of my heart, but I appreciate all of you guys who are here for me and supporting me. Now, this hand is a little bit of a dud. We're going to grab 2 of these guys. We have the Marnie, I guess, to continue playing the game. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and quick ball away the boss. Grab another copy of this. We have the Fog Crystal for another energy next turn, so we can attach here and pass. Now, the idea is we can still slam Articunos like whenever if we can get the pieces up and running. So we're kind of hoping that we can get the pieces up and running. And a Sobble engine indicates probably it's either Jolteon. It could be Jolteon, it could be Leafeon, it could be Urshifu, it could be anything. It could even be Shadow Rider Calyrex. I don't think it's Shadow Rider Calyrex, but it could be. Capture Energy will show us kind of what they're playing. It's Jolteon, so Path is something that's very important to kind of keep in mind in this matchup. Now, one thing Jolteon doesn't like is one-shots, so we're going to look to one-shot. That's like kind of our game plan the entire game. We're going to simply look to one-shot as many things as possible and play off the back of that. Now, Jolteon does only need basically 3 attacks to win the game, so we have to win it in 2. You sound reasonable? You think we can do it, guys? I think it's very difficult, but let's try our best. For all of you who believed out there and said you could do it, you guys are crazy. What are you on? Let's get ourselves the VMAX, a good top deck to start. We can go ahead and start powering up our board. So all we need to knock out a Jolteon is 10 energy. 10 energy in play. That's a lot of energy. So let's go ahead and accelerate to start off. We always excel first, I think, just so we can get energies onto the board, because missing an energy drop with Shadow Rider feels really, really bad. So at the very least, we know we're stuck at 3 energy attachments on the turn. Now the question is, do we want to give them the switch and play the game the way our opponent wants to play it? If we switch and give them the access to our Shadow Rider, they'll be able to basically get a free hit into it. There's another Evolution Incense. So one after another, the ball just keeps rolling. We get all of our pieces. We've maxed out effectively on all the energy we can get this turn, besides being able to Articuno. Oh my god, dude. This would have been crazy. We would have had 7 energy turn 2 to knock out a V Pokemon if we wanted. We're going to pass because there's no reason to attack here. And next turn we can just slam the Articuno and Research. There's the path to the peak that they were looking for. See, they had the ping as well, so they're going to be able to retreat and hit us. But I've got a little trick to help us for later. It's this card called Switch. And with this Articuno, if we can hit a stadium, we can actually probably go for the one-shot. They missed it. They missed a switching card. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Do I want to switch here, though? Do I want to switch or do I just pass? Because I want this Jolteon in the active. But if he benches a Jolteon afterwards, it's not good for me. Maybe his hand's just dead. We're going to go ahead and switch. I think his hand's dead. Because he has one card in hand and he didn't do anything last turn. So there is the Training Court, and we have energies to play. We're just going to attach, I think, here and attack. I'm not going to go ahead and like overcommit to the board because I'm already doing 250. I don't want to draw too many cards too quickly because that is a problem with this deck. If you draw too many cards too quickly, you will deck, and that's not good. So let's see if he gives us the Jolteon or not. If he gives us the Jolteon, that indicates that his one card in hand is probably playable. Looks like it might be. I mean, it's got free retreat, I guess, so you can get out of there. But we're going to bring up the VMAX and just take it to Pound Town. We got the game. It's as simple as that. You guys saw how many energy I got into play as quickly as I did? That's crazy. Yes, I know we drew into some very fortunate cards over and over and over again. But that is the power of this turbo Shadow Rider deck. That kind of just floods the board. It doesn't matter what type you are. It doesn't matter what deck you are. We're just going to get a billion energy into play and punish you for playing the game you want to play. Because I get to play a million, gajillion, trillion cards. This is kind of an idea that I've wanted to kind of do since Shadow Rider came out. I've always been a huge fanatic of the heavy Galarian Articuno build. But it always felt like there was something missing. Like, oh, this hand is bad. There always felt like there was something missing from the equation. And I felt that missing card was Battle VIP Pass. And now we have it. So I can kind of play that out. Okay, so we're in a little bit of trouble. We're going to have no abilities starting turn 2. So I'm just going to do this ahead of time. And pass. So this way we have the Side Laser next turn to knock out the Weezing if we need it. And also, like, this feels really bad because it's a Dark type deck. So we're probably under the gun already. And regardless of what happens, we're already going to be under pressure because, well, Weezing is going to do 40 damage in between turns. And that means Articuno is going to go down. We can't use abilities. So we're up against some sort of a stall variant, it looks like. Which is interesting because maybe the Articuno buys us some time to kind of pick off these Altarias, which are going to be a problem for Shadow Rider, because Shadow Rider can't deal with Altaria. Rose Tower, an interesting stadium. A switch comes through, a boss. So that boss is actually really big for them. Because now if they get the evolution, they didn't get the evolution. Oh my god. Alright, cool. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, we can start setting up behind our board. Let's Evo and fail it. Let's use this guy's Rose Tower. Thank you for the one card. Switch doesn't matter, I think. We'll just draw cards here. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. We've got pretty much everything we need. Only downside, obviously, is that we do not have a follow-up for next turn, given any circumstance. I guess if we keep this, we have it. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to taking a prize, I think. And I'm going to do it on the Swablu. Because I think that the Weezings are not going to be a problem. That damage is like a little bit of a negligible amount of damage. We can kind of work our way around it. Another energy that's not the greatest thing in the world, but we have the Evo Incense. We get to play the game. Hopefully... Oh, so they're evolving in the back. Maybe another switch? Oh, Dark Asset. Okay. They're probably looking for a switch, right? Because they need to... If they don't switch, then... Or they can use Ascension active, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. And, I mean, I'm not getting poisoned here yet. But Weezing has 130. So we can just go Incense, attach, pass, which is fine. We're, like, not under any pressure. Also, this, like, Rose Tower is surprisingly helpful. So we're up against some sort of a control lock dark type deck. Interesting concept. I mean, decks like this have always existed, right? Like, these are just decks that force me not to play the game. And decks like this have always, always, always existed in the Pokemon TCG. Where they just, get your opponent not to play the game, and you win off the back of just the virtue of them not being able to get everything they need. So obviously there's going to be some boss shenanigans here and there. So let's go ahead and Rose Tower for the 1. I can quick ball this next turn, I think, because I don't want to do anything else this turn. We'll just pass it. Pass it over. This Articuno buys me a full 2 turns if there's no boss in tandem with this Weezing combo. And I'm hoping there isn't a boss. We've already seen one boss. A Crobat VMAX. Now that's interesting. So this also kind of bounces. So this damage now gets amplified, I guess, by the Weezing, right? So this damage gets amplified. So I have less time than I thought, right? Like I'm gonna hit into with Stealth Poison, and it's gonna get bounced back into this guy. No, it still buys me the exact same number of turns, but this is the problem card. This Altaria is the problem card. If it is like a stall level of Altaria. Now we're just gonna do this. We're gonna quick ball away this Articuno. Doesn't matter for us whatsoever. I think we can just full on commit to 4 Shadow Riders, and let's draw 2 cards. That does nothing for me. Let's pass it back over. Now, on the bright side, you can already see my hand, and you know that with the Psychic Energy, I'll be able to get a knockout on the active. This is the problem. If you can get 2 energy onto this guy, he's going to be able to max cutter me for the knockout. And that's not something that I'm looking forward to, particularly. If that happens, I think the game is effectively over. I don't get to play the game. We don't want that happening. We don't want max cutter happening, because I can't accelerate energies fast enough to match that pace. It looks like he is splitting up his energies here, which implies maybe there's like a Raihan in the deck or something. But if I knock out this Weezing, it's not that Raihan comes into play, I guess. Am I even doing enough? I mean, yeah, with the detachment, I do get there. So I'll be able to take the knockout here. But what comes next is the question. A Peony. Rose and Marnie. So Rose is definitely a card that I need to watch out for. Evo Intense Palpad. Very interesting 2 cards. I mean, I guess they can Altaria back a supporter for next turn every time, and they have the Rose Tower to draw more cards. But Rose Tower is also helping me tremendously right now. If Rose Tower didn't exist, I feel like we'd be completely cooked. This matchup seems terrible for me, and Mew VMAX too. Like, this matchup seems just bad for, like, purple decks in general. But I think you just lose to, like, Jolteon and Urshifu. I think both those matchups are probably terrible for you. Any Urshifu, like, variant. But anything purple, I feel like you beat, which is, you know, good for you. Good for you if you can beat purple, because purple's pretty good this format, especially Mew. So obviously, I mean, Shadow Rider is also going to take the collateral from dark type decks, which is not fun. Specifically, like in this instance right here, where we're getting kind of a... Oh, we see what supporter they put on top. Oh, that's kind of hot. So there's a boss being put on top. Did they support already for the turn? No, right? No, the Peony, yeah. Just a retreat and a pass, right? Okay, cool. So I get a free prize here. This other horse is gonna get pulled into the active, and I know that for sure. Like, that's like a pretty foregone conclusion here. Let's just fail this and take 2 more cards with the Rose. A boss gets me out of this situation. Just a singular boss's orders. Gives me a chance to start accelerating energy, gets me a chance to start playing the game. That's all I'm looking for. That balloon is huge, because we know they put the boss into their hand, so they're looking probably to make a play with the Stealth Poison. And if they make that play with the Stealth Poison, I can just balloon out and buy myself some time. Obviously, if they go Stealth Poison onto the bench, attached to a different one, and start setting up a max cutter, well, I'm still in a lot of trouble. So it's not a happy ending for everybody still. And 2 Articuno are gone as well. So it's not like I'm in a like a happy-go-lucky hunky-dory spot here. This matchup is still terrible. They can just hit my active. It's okay. But we're gonna top deck boss. Do you guys believe in the top deck boss? One time the top deck boss's orders. He could even bounce this into the other Crobat, and I can't do anything. Like, I can't one-shot that. No, I mean, I would if he was... Actually, don't do that. Don't do that. Go to the Weezing. Go to the Weezing. Go to the Weezing. I made a mistake. I said something wrong. It's fine. They just got rid of their boss. Okay. A Peony grabbing double energy switch. Oh, they're just going to go for the max cutter here. Okay. So E-switch to the active. Probably, right? Yeah, and just max cutter. Take the knockout. Putting me in a spot where I literally don't think I can win the game. Let's see. Can I even get close to enough energy out of the board? I think the answer is always going to be no here. This guy asks for your treat. This guy has one. I think that's probably my goose getting cooked, guys. I think that's the dark type deck that writes the nail in the coffin effectively for me. We're gonna have to play a little bit greedy here, so we're gonna just slam the 2 energies onto the board. Especially because I have 1 shot out of prize. I don't even think there's anything I can do, even with this greed, to win the game. But we're gonna try, right? We're gonna try. I mean, I already messed it up. I was supposed to accelerate to this guy, but it's okay. We've already lost. I've already tilted. I've already tilted. We're just gonna concede it. This matchup is terrible. Don't play against a dark type deck. But obviously, guys, if you enjoyed the content, as always, remember to subscribe, like. I really appreciate all of the support, like I mentioned earlier in the video. I hope you guys are having a happy holidays by the time this video is up. I will see you guys in the new year with some streams, with some amazing content. I can't wait to keep making high-level content for everybody. Competitive content, newer player content, breakdowns through history, meta-analysis, all that stuff. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.